Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Jake Force. This week is National Dispatchers Week, celebrating dispatchers who have the important job of being the first reaction to emergencies. Well, it's definitely been a tough go of things in these playoffs so far for your Milwaukee Bucks. Tonight, they are currently fighting to keep their season alive, facing a 3-1 series deficit to the Indiana Pacers. And after getting Monday off, the Milwaukee Brewers are back in action tonight as they pay a visit to the Windy City. However, it will not be the Chicago Cubs in the other dugout this week. Tonight, the Brewers are on the south side as they open a 3-game set with the Chicago White Sox. There was an attempted theft of an ATM in Three Lakes early Monday morning. The suspect or suspects have not yet been found, and the town's police chief is asking people to check their cameras. And leaky roofs, no heat, and overcrowding are just a few problems that the Eagle River girls hockey team faces. But with the community's help, they have been able to move closer to expanding their space. Here's Newswatch 12's Lily Alstein. And with windy conditions this week, area fire departments and the Wisconsin DNR are warning people about the risk of burning. Newswatch 12's Wyatt Williams has more on the potential dangers ahead. Card games are one of the oldest forms of entertainment out there. Some local residents in Eagle River are helping to teach people about a game that has been around since the 16th century.
A senior Biden administration official says a deal with Hamas for a temporary ceasefire and hostage release is likely not happening today. But it is close. The water is slowly receding in the Houston area, where catastrophic flooding earlier this week flooded at least 700 homes in just one county. And we're not naming the man police arrested because he has not been charged yet in connection to this hit and run, but the same man has a prior conviction of hitting and killing someone with his car in 2018. The United States House of Representatives passed a $98 billion package providing foreign aid for Israel, Ukraine, and the Indo-Pacific region Saturday. The number of high school seniors who have submitted applications for financial aid is down significantly this year. It was a day of celebration, but also mourning in Madison today as the family of Sade Robinson, who was murdered in April, accepted her degree from the Madison Area Technical College. Iranian state media reported that a helicopter carrying Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi suffered a, quote, hard landing today, without elaborating. The cargo ship that crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, causing it to collapse, is ready to be refloated and relocated. The warmer temperatures are starting to arrive, which means people are starting to break out the swimsuits to cool off. Newswatch 12's Austin Carisu met with a member of the National Drowning Prevention Alliance to learn more about how people can be prepared for a drowning emergency ahead of their day on the water.
Dan, Jessica, PFAS chemicals are found in everything from carpets to toys to nonstick cookware. And as we know, Wisconsin has seen increased levels of these chemicals in drinking water across the state.
Dan, many were in attendance here at the Madison Area Technical College just behind me today to get a glimpse of President Biden's future plans to make good on his promise for canceling student loan debt.
Dan, Jessica, the calls for President Biden to step out of the race seem to be gaining momentum by the day. President Biden, however, today in a fiery speech showed that he has no intentions of stepping out of the race.
Let me say this as clearly as I can. I'm staying in the race.
Yeah, Dan, Jessica, Habitat for Humanity here at DC Everest High School is just a few days away from moving this house right behind me to its permanent location. Dan, the listening session is set to start here at the Woodruff Town Hall at 5:30 just behind me, and the cars are absolutely pouring into this parking lot.
Severe thunderstorms tore through much of the Northwoods last night, and crews are still working to clean up fallen trees, some of which destroyed homes. Our own Jake Force joins us live near Tomahawk from the town of Bradley, where several houses in the Navajo Trail neighborhood have been completely destroyed. Jake, what can you tell us?
Dan, people here in this neighborhood are still trying to digest the fallout of last night's storms. You can see the damage to this house behind me. The good news is that only minor injuries were suffered and that all who did suffer injuries are now doing okay. But these folks now face the grueling process of picking up the pieces of this damage and that dealing with the reality that last night could have been much worse.
My brother-in-law's grandfather built that 80 years ago, and it's gone.
Robert Jepson wasn't expecting his trip from his home state of Illinois to be like this. Jepson was visiting his sister and brother-in-law at their home in Bradley when severe storms ripped through their neighborhood early Tuesday morning and destroyed their home. Ray Marvin lives just down the street and also got his home destroyed by several fallen trees. He says he woke up and opened his bedroom door and all he saw was the night sky and the pouring rain.
But my wife was awake earlier because the storm woke her up. Like, it didn't wake me up until she started screaming, and I didn't know what she was screaming about. And I opened the door, and then I knew what she was screaming about.
Marvin said he and his wife were hoping to spend the rest of their retirement in this home and are both devastated that they now have to find another option. Marvin, however, added that they are lucky to be alive and unharmed.
Well, we're tickled that we're not we're not in a hospital or something, because it could have been a lot worse. The crying's over. That was earlier. And now we're trying to look on the bright side.
Jepson and his relatives were abruptly awoken by the loud thunder and rain. He said he immediately sought shelter after the windows and roof were destroyed by a tree that fell through the house, then waited for help to arrive and pull him out of the window.
It was terrifying. That's all I can say.
Lieutenant Andy Vanderweist with the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office commended the first responders and tree service crews for acting swiftly and getting to the scene in a timely manner.
This is a neighborhood where there's one way in, one way out. The crews last night that were working came in all on foot, and it was really a good demonstration of teamwork about a number of different agencies and departments as far as getting in here and getting people the help that they needed as timely as possible.
Jepson also added how thankful he is for the first responders and cleanup crews who are still working tirelessly to help these residents recover from an incalculable loss.
And I got nothing but praise for the guys that come out here. Did a good job.
And the National Weather Service is still surveying the damage from last night. Part of this is trying to decipher whether or not a tornado actually did touch down in this area. Those assessments generally take several days, and we will make sure to keep you updated on that. For now, though, a sigh of relief for these folks, and seeing all of them look on the bright side today, it was quite refreshing, Dan.